I am your host, Carrie Scollon, giving us different perspectives on where we are and where we want to go on our journey. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to spending some time with you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session of the Foundher series. I am your host, Carrie Scollon. I am so thrilled that you're here. I have a really interesting guest today that I am looking so forward to sharing with you. I did a session with Jocelyn Pettitt. She is an energy therapist, and I'm going to bring her on very quick because there's so much that she has to offer, and I don't really know how to explain. So I'm going to be learning a lot with you today. I have done a session with Jocelyn, so I've got a little bit of an idea of what it actually, how it felt in my body doing it. But it's a lot about moving emotional energy that's really trapped in our body from who knows when. So Jocelyn, come on in, welcome. Thank you for being here. And we are just going to jump right in because you've got a lot to share.
Thank you so much, Carrie, and thank you for having me on the show today. So my job and what I do is I help clients shift emotional energy that is not serving them out of their body. And so what a lot of people don't realize when you look at health is, you know, there's the physical health that you tackle with the doctors when there's something wrong and you go to the medical system. There's the mental health that you will seek therapists and counselors for. There's spiritual, which is really personal, however you decide to do that. But a lot of people miss the emotional and the energetic side of our healing. So this is a part of holistic health that I like to cover. It's another aspect of our health that many, many people forget about or don't know that it's possible to heal. And so what I do is I use a few modalities, but I began with the emotion code developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. And what we do is, as a practitioner, I connect to my client's energy and I muscle test what trapped emotional energies need to be released from their body. So they may contact me saying, well, you know, I have shoulder tension or neck pain, or I have this strange pain in my knee or stomach that we haven't been able to figure out. That's usually when they're seeking other alternative methods to try to discover root cause, and that's where I come in.
So it's all interlinked, though, wouldn't you say? Like you talk about the emotion and the spiritual and the traditional, the holistic, like it all works well together.
Yes.
If you can tap into each session.
Yes.
So it's not just one or the other, but you've got to get to the emotion that's really tied to so much more. Like when you did mine, I was shocked. I thought I'm like, I've done a lot of work. I'm feeling pretty good. And then when I realized how much was blocked, I was like, there's always work. And I know there's always work, but it was just such an interesting process for me that you took me through.
Thank you. So, and that's the one thing that I love about it is there are many beautiful modalities out there. And yes, we need to seek all, like, look at this from a holistic approach and tackle every little area. Emotion code is just one of those modalities. And the beautiful thing about it is that it can specifically say, you know, you have the energy of grief that is affecting your lungs from the age of 34. And that's what we're going to heal and let go today. So it is very specific. And when you get your report, you can look at your report and actually track your emotional healing and say, today, this is what we were working on. We were working on emotions from my marriage or my divorce or from the loss of a parent. And so you actually identify, the specifics of what you were storing, because many people don't realize is that your body keeps score. And there is a book that is called The Body Keeps Score. And it does. It remembers. There's two ways that the past exists: through what we remember of it mentally, but also through the trapped emotional charge and energy that exists on the body. If that hasn't been healed and processed, it will remain.
Yes. And that was really evident to me when I did your work, for sure.
Yes. And we take it even further with the body code. So I'm also certified in the body code. And what that does is it looks for other emotional and even deeper than emotional, it looks for other misalignments and imbalances in the energy field. So emotions is just one aspect, but we can also determine, are there certain misalignments in the spine, misalignments in the skull, energetic imbalances in the meridian systems, in the lymphatic system, in the circulatory system. And so the body code, it also uses muscle testing with the client to determine where in the body specifically is there something else. Because quite often, people don't realize that not only do we carry emotions, but we also carry trauma in the form of energy statements, mental energies. So mental energies that you either picked up as a child or someone made you feel a certain way, and then that energy can get trapped. You know, I've worked on clients where I'm going through their organs and glands and their liver has a mental energy statement, no will to heal. And it's like, oh, well, there's an energy that needs to get going. Or the bladder, it will have the energy statement, no will to support itself. And so it's very, very specific. And I think that's one of the things that I really love about using the emotion code and body code systems. And majority of my work is with clients online. And I would say probably 95 to 99% of my clientele is throughout Canada, the US, and abroad. And every time that I'm working with somebody, I like to teach them and show them and say, listen, this is what I'm getting, but I want you to see with your body and listen to your body so that you're not just taking my word for it.
Right.
Because it's very specific. And if something comes up, such as a toxin or pathogen, not being a medical professional, I can't diagnose or treat or say you have this. But what I can do is say, muscle testing is showing me this. So what I want you to do is stand up, and I show them the sway test, and then I let them see what their body is showing them. I release that energy, and then I let them see again that the energy has been cleared. So I think that when clients get to experience that physical movement in their body and their body communicating with them, okay, it was saying I had it and now it's gone. It kind of takes away any questions into the information that I'm pulling up.
But so I can speak for that. I experienced that when I had that session with you and the sway test, and here's a question before, and then you release it, and then I do it again and it's gone.
Yes.
But like, how does that work? I do not understand how you can be there and move energy through my body on the other side of wherever you're, like, can you help me understand that?
Yes, of course. I think that's a question that a lot of people have, but by the time they book with me, they're kind of ready. And so they understand that, this is something else on an energetic level. It really has to do with quantum physics. So with quantum physics, it doesn't really care about time or space. That means nothing in quantum physics. And to study that, it even blows my mind. It's just, it's so above me. But basically, energy doesn't care about distance or time. So if I make the intention to connect with a client online, such as you, Carrie, I'm making the intention that our energy fields are actually coming together for the purpose of this session. And so when I do muscle testing, I'm asking for you on your behalf. I'm saying, what trapped emotions exist that might be contributing to lower back pain, for example, or to headaches? And then I'd be muscle testing those emotional energies that your subconscious mind is giving me the information and then releasing. And the way I release, of course, we get trained to do this, but it's very similar to having a gymnasium full of students and you have, let's say, 400 kids, and you want to call up one of them to speak to them. So you'd have to be specific, and you'd have to say, you, Johnny, grade 4, stand up. You're the one I'm dealing with. So the emotion code and body code is very similar in the sense that I need to muscle test, which anger am I talking about? Because you can experience anger many times in your life. But no, I'm talking about the anger from 24 that is causing you lower back pain, that one. And I bring it forward. So that's step 1 is recognition of the energy. And then step 2 is transmuting the energy. So then I do what I do to transmute that. Yep. And so energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed. Right. And so we transmute that energy. And then once we do that, the third step is healing. It's as simple as that. It's gone. So you're changing that low vibrational energy and you're letting it go, but you're not really doing anything but transforming it truly with the power of love, because love is the highest vibration that there is.
I love that. And I asked that question mainly because I had that question in my head before I came to you. I feel like I'm a pretty open person when it comes to trying different modalities. So I think for a viewer, what I would suggest is maybe we don't need to totally understand it, right? Because there's a lot. I mean, I've just started to tap into the quantum physics, and it's a lot. And I'm not a science person, but I'm just really intrigued by it and I'm fascinated by it. So
Yes.
I've got a willingness to learn about it. But
Yes.
I also had trust in what you were doing, and so that just allowed me to, okay, maybe I don't need to totally understand this, but I want to try it. I want to see for myself what it can do. So I just wanted to bring that back down as well, because it can get overwhelming.
Yeah.
And if we can just bring it back, and I love that you bring it back to love, because that's, I'm wearing my shirt today. I'll show you. Love, love, love.
It's the highest vibration. Yes. It's unconditional love, really, because if you love something, unconditionally means you don't have to know why, you just do. That is the highest frequency, and that can transmute anything. So in our training, we're taught how to do this. I think one of the most beautiful things about this type of work is how clients feel afterwards. So yes, there's a processing period of 3 days, but afterwards, how do they feel? A lot of the feedback I receive is just a lightness, like a weight has been lifted off, more inner peace, more calm, less triggered. And sometimes people will notice how people interact with them is differently. Children being more loving, or clients being comfortable in their space and talking with them longer. And a big part of that is because we do some heart wall work, which I'll explain a little bit of what that is.
Yeah, I want you to touch on that one. I know that I was exhausted for like 3 hours. Like I slept for 3 hours after the session.
Very common.
You remind me to drink lots of water, and then it was just like, but yeah, I did. I was wiped right out, but I did feel lighter. I felt lighter for sure. The
thing is after a session, so let's say it's a 45-minute session of clearing, you are a different person at the end of that 45 minutes than you were when you came in, because you are now a higher vibrational being. When you let go of those low vibrational energies, your vibration comes up. You're this different energy field, and your physical body has to catch up. It has to recalibrate its energies, and it can feel like a whammy has been done on you. You can feel like you've had a deep tissue massage and you just need to rest. And I understand that because I've been through it. And I like to warn my clients, we might be working across the world from each other, but you will feel this, and drink lots of water, just like you would in a deep tissue massage, because your body is going to physically have to recalibrate itself and catch up. And that takes about 72 hours. So that is very common.
Well, and when you think about it, when you even simplify it, even another step is we're all energy anyways. It's all we are. That's what we're made up of. So to me, it just makes total sense that that we're able to do this. I don't know. It just makes sense to me.
It's a beautiful thing.
I don't really even know. I don't really even understand it. I just know that it makes sense.
I think by the time they're ready for something different, and it isn't for everybody, because not everybody is at this awareness, I guess I can say, and that's okay. It's just not their time. If it ever will be, I draw in the people who are ready to tackle another layer of healing that they've never looked at. And once you start, it's like, oh, okay, there's this awareness of, I didn't know I was holding on to this from age 17. When I walked into my first session ever, it was because I was just really excited. I had watched a documentary called Emotion, which is energy in motion. And that's all an emotion is energy in motion. And I was on the search for a practitioner. And I walked in and I said, I have nothing wrong with me. I'm like living my best life. I'm so happy. And you could feel my energy and excitement. And then I'm in session and tears are falling down my face. And I realized, I didn't know that I was holding on to so much. And it's an eye opener for sure.
Yes. Okay. So can you tell me a little bit about the heart wall? And then I know that you have something that you want to share, because our time goes super quick. So I want to make sure that you get in as much that can help our viewers. So
yeah, so the heart wall, I would say probably 99.999% of our population have it, and we don't even realize we have it. And the way it is developed is you go through a traumatic experience in your life. We all go through these emotional journeys.
Yeah.
And your heart feels vulnerable. So let's say you're a teenager and you have to present in front of your class and you're extremely nervous and you're dreading it. Your heart feels very vulnerable. So it takes that emotional energy of dread and it says, okay, you know what? I need some protection. So it puts this ball of energy in front of you, like a little floating protection barrier. And then you go through the next experience in life. And let's say that's heartache, your first heartbreak. Okay, heartache is going on top of dread. And then you know what? You experience extreme anxiety on top of heartache, and depression on top of anxiety, and so on and so forth. And what happens is we all end up walking around life jaded by our past experiences. We become hardened. We become less empathetic. We don't feel the way we are meant to feel because we have this energetic wall and protection barrier. Yeah. So if you've ever met somebody that feels very cold, and there's that saying, you know, they have this wall up, you're not getting in. That's because on a soul recognition level, we feel it. And so the heart wall is something that was identified by Dr. Riley Nelson. And it is the most beautiful thing to heal and release, because once you let that go, you're able, well, it feels like a sense of relief. Like you can take a deep breath, but you're able to move forward in life, giving and receiving love the way you're meant to be giving it. So when you send out an emotional energy, it is generated from your heart space. Right. And if you have this wall in front of you that's built up of all these low vibrational energies, that beautiful vibration of love that has to go through this wall, by the end of it is very weakened. It's not as strong. Yeah. And vice versa. If somebody is sending you this really nice vibration of love, but it's got to go through this wall of negative energy, but by the time it reaches you, it's very weak, and you can end up feeling isolated, unloved, unfulfilled, unhappy, and unable to manifest, because those manifesting energies are generated from your heart. So by healing that heart wall, so many things start to happen in our lives. You do start to feel more, yes, but you also start to experience life the way we are meant to experience it. Kind of similar to the way children experience. When we look at children and they're so carefree and happy, most of them, but some children have heart walls as well. And, you know, and you're like, yeah, that innocence, that's because they're not jaded yet. They haven't been through this. But there's a way to let it go and heal. And that's one of my favorite things to do with clients.
So now for somebody that maybe might not be ready to take the step of going to find somebody like you that does it, would you suggest they educate themselves a little bit first, right?
Yes, there's great ways
read some of the books. Read some of the books. Yeah, do some homework.
Yes,
I wouldn't say so you're prepared, but it just may be a step to take before, right? If somebody's just not quite ready.
I had watched a documentary, which was fantastic, and it talked about this emotional healing, which was called Emotion. And that was my first introduction. And then I went to buy the book, but you can access the book online for free. You can get the first few chapters. I have that link on my website as well. So you can actually download the first 100 and something pages from this book and start reading it for free and start to understand what this does and how this works. Yeah. And again, it has to resonate. You have to be ready for it. And not everybody is, and I get that. And that's totally fine. Yeah. But it's another aspect of our health that I think all of us can be aware of. And if you'd like, I can demonstrate muscle testing with you, Carrie, and how I would do it in a session and show the viewers or anybody who watches the replay what exactly is muscle testing and how do I gather this information? So yes, water is a good first step, making sure that you are well hydrated.
You want me to stand up, right?
I would love for you to stand up. So in a session, when I first work with a client, I want to show them how to tap into their subconscious mind. And that is where all this information is stored. We have our conscious mind, which we use to speak and to make decisions, but that's only 1% of our brain, our consciousness. The rest of it is this computer that has been storing this information. So that's what we want to access. This is what lie detectors do. They tap into your body response, not into the verbal response. So if I have you turn to the side, Carrie, so we can see your side view. Beautiful. Relaxing your body, letting your arms just relax, closing your eyes. What I'd like you to do is just ground yourself and tell
Okay.
your conscious mind, say subconscious mind, you can just say this in your head. Show
Okay.
me what a yes answer is. Show me a yes, and keep focusing on the word yes. Yes. And you see that Carrie sways forward. Okay. Coming back to neutral. And tell your subconscious mind now to show you what a no answer is. Show me a no, no, no. And you keep focusing on no. And Carrie, if you let people know, are you doing this at all?
No, no,
No, you don't really have control.
It's so crazy.
It just
It's
does
crazy.
it on its own. Okay, so the next thing I'll have you do is just state a true statement like, my name is Carrie.
Okay.
And your body says, yeah, it is. And then I want you to say, my name is Bob. And the body says, no, it's not Bob. And so this is how lie detectors work. It actually listens to the body's response. And so let's ask the question, do I have a heart wall? And let your body show you. And that's a yes. And we haven't cleared it yet. And we have done some work on it though. So for clients or potential clients or viewers, we all have this gift to tap into our subconscious mind and ask it these yes and no questions. And so what you did there was the first thing that I did when I was reading the emotion code book. I put it down. I got to this point on the sway test. I stood in my room. I did it. And I thought, okay, I can do this. And with that tool alone, you can start practicing emotion code even on yourself. And so it's quite amazing how powerful this communication tool can be. You could be in a supplement store and say, does my body want this? And just wait for a subtle back or forward. You could ask a question, is this headache trapped emotions? Yes or no. Is this knee pain trapped emotions? Yes or no. Would I benefit from a session? Yes or no. And your subconscious mind knows everything, and it's very literal, and it will give you the answer. And to use this further, I will talk a little bit with the remaining time we have on subconscious mind reprogramming.
Yes.
So after the emotion code, body code, I studied up until my master's level, Psych K. And what this is now it takes muscle testing again, which I was already proficient in. And it muscle tests belief statements at the subconscious level. So emotion code and body code is amazing for healing past trauma energies, for letting go of the past. But now, if you want to make any shifts regarding your future, you have to look at your belief system, because your beliefs create your reality. So if you are testing weak in a statement, such as I am worthy of the best that life has to offer, if you were to stand up on your own and sway test that, if you go forward on that, your subconscious mind is saying, yes, we believe that. We are on board. But if you sway backwards on that statement, I deserve the very best life has to offer, it doesn't matter what you're doing, what you're affirming, what you're saying. Your belief system is saying, no, we don't believe this. And so Psych K became a powerful tool for changing the building blocks of someone's future, because we create our reality through our belief system. So the only real thing that exists is this moment right now. And our future is unlimited potential of possibilities. Like wherever we go, we can go in any direction. And you may be heading this direction in life, and you change a belief such as, I am worthy of this. All of a sudden, your subconscious mind is like, you've just changed your timeline in your future, and now you're going to be here. And this is your destination point. And so that's when I started to put the two together, where we do half sessions in my combination sessions of clearing past, bringing their vibration up, and then looking at the belief system and saying, okay, do you believe you're worthy of a loving, intimate relationship? Do you believe you're worthy of love? Do you believe, that you're worthy of making more than 5,000 or 10,000 a month? And just checking in with your belief system, because if you are weak on any of those statements, that is, again, a powerful tool for change, because discovering where you're weak, then you can learn and say, okay, now I can fix that. Now I can change it.
Well, and that's what I wanted to bring up, because sometimes when we do that testing, and I just can't believe how accurate it was for me, or accurate, it's not even the right word. I was surprised by a lot of the answers. But when I sat with it a little bit, I realized, that actually is what I believe. I want to believe this, but my
Yeah.
body is actually still here believing
Yeah.
it this way.
Yeah.
But so what I want to make sure that we leave with when it comes to that, because yes, we can uncover those things, but then what do we do?
Yeah.
Like,
What do you
it's
do?
like, okay, I did the sway test. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm worthy of whatever, but now what? Like, I don't want to be stuck back here. So how do I get to the,
How do you change it? Well, I would
yeah,
say there's a few ways. The
yeah,
fastest way is through Psyche. It's minutes or less to change a
yeah,
belief. But that's one way. There's
yeah,
hypnotherapy that also works on the subconscious level, but that can take 30 days. There's
right,
repetition. If you look at something long enough and you discovered you're weak in an affirmation or a goal, you can repeat it constantly. Eventually your subconscious mind will learn. There's multiple ways to tackle beliefs.
yeah,
The way that I use is
right,
Psyche, just because I
right,
find it to be quick. And it's one that Dr. Bruce Lipton endorses as well as being one
right.
of the quickest ways to change a belief, because you can see your body sway backwards, do a Psyche balance, and all of a sudden you're going forward on that. And that's something that your body will clearly show you.
Right, right. So if they don't have access to that right away, though, it's just even journaling, writing
Repetition.
that out, and
Yes.
then write out
However you
what you
learn
want to
best.
believe, right?
Yes.
What you want
However
to
you learn
believe,
best.
and to
Yes.
switch
Because
that belief. Yeah,
our subconscious mind really learns through senses. And
right,
so if you understand that you're a kinesthetic learner, writing it down every day. If you're a visual learning, keeping that post-it note in your
right,
vision. If you're auditory, listening to it, record your voice on your phone and listen to it over and over. So you can tackle and use all three of those methods and use all
right.
your senses.
Yeah,
Or even just focus in on the one, and it should shift and make a difference eventually, unless it's a deep-rooted core belief
right,
from developed in 0 to 8, then that's more work, but it
right.
is possible to change as well.
And that's where you might need more help. You might need
Yes.
a elevated level of help.
Yes.
I also, when we talked before, it was our body believes what we tell it, right? So
Yes.
I'm not worthy. Maybe something I've told myself for so many years, that was a lie, but it became a belief because of the repetition. So that's where I love that. It can be changed. It can
It
be
can be
reprogrammed,
changed.
because you're
Yes.
just, I think Marissa Peer says that, she wrote a book, Tell Yourself a Better Lie. Like,
Yes. Yes.
you're lying to yourself anyways. Make sure what you're saying, you know,
What would you do
is
if you
what
knew
you
you wouldn't
want.
fail? If you
Yes.
knew that
Yeah.
you would not fail, what would you try to attempt?
Yeah.
And it's by releasing those blockages and going for it without
Yeah.
fear is when
Yes.
you realize your true potential is that
Beautiful.
we're the ones who put up those blocks, nobody
Right.
else.
Right. And I think the heart wall is the one that I resonated with the most, because it's beautiful on both sides, because it protects us, because we need protecting in that moment, right? We're vulnerable, and there's this
Yes.
beautiful protection mechanism, but then we got to pull it away. And to me, when we come at anything with an open heart, we're coming with our best intention. And I don't think you can, maybe you can be hurt, but if your intention is true, you won't hurt the person that, there's just so
Honestly,
much wrapped around the heart.
if we lived
The
in a
heart wall.
world where people had healed their heart walls, it would be a completely different world.
Be
There
amazing.
would be more empathy, more love for each other and humanity. You feel for one another.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. And it is definitely my goal and mission to bring awareness to what the heart wall is and does, and let people know there is a way to heal it.
I love that. And it also lets people know that they're not crazy thinking that there's just a blockage there. There is. Right. But there is a way to lessen that. So I think there's some people that just don't understand why they can't feel.
That's right.
And just to give people hope that there actually is ways. It doesn't have to take years and years and years, but start with the emotion code. Is that what the book's called?
Yeah, the emotion code. Yes.
And then you also
the body
said
code
Bruce
was just
Lipton.
released.
Oh, the body code. And that's the same Bradley, Dr.
Yes,
Bradley.
Dr. Bradley Nelson. He just released the body code, which is a beautiful book. It's really like a textbook, and it goes into how to work through the body and the other energies that could be trapped within. And Dr. Bruce Lipton speaks about Psyche. He's not the creator of Psyche though. And it's just slipping my mind. Rob Williams is the creator of Psyche. So he has a book as well.
So there's so much available to us now at our fingertips.
Yes.
Bruce Lipton, I know, does a ton on YouTube. Whether he
Yes,
taps into that, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't watched everything, but I want people to know that there's options out there for them. And then we have beautiful people like you that, if you can get an appointment or you can, get a session, that's amazing. But in the meantime, if you just want to tap your, dip your toe in and see what it's like, and if it's something that resonates with you, it's there. It's there for you. And like you said, the book, first 100 pages, you can download for free. So I just love that. I love what you do. I think you bring hope to people and possibility, which is what I'm all about. I think we need more of that in the world. So I love what you're doing. I can't thank you enough for being on here. I know our time is already up, but it is EdsonEmotionReset.com, right?
Yes, that's correct. That's
Look Jocelyn up. Thank you so much for all of you that are here. If you're watching the replay, that's amazing. We're going to stick around for the next 30 minutes and have some questions with Jocelyn. And before I go, you always know that you are more than enough as is. And I thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next week. Thank you, Jocelyn.
Thank you.